What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Cashed Out, and today we're going to be talking about this bad boy lens right here. This is the Canon 85mm f1.8 lens, and this is, to me, the best budget portrait photography lens that you can get for your Canon camera. And this is one of my favorite lenses because it's super useful when it comes to portrait photography. Whenever I have to do anything with portrait photography, I always take this lens first, and then I'll maybe carry my 50mm as a backup as well. But this lens is absolutely awesome. So in this video, I'm going to talk to you about why I love this lens so much, why I love it for portrait so much. We're going to talk about a little bit about how I use it, and we'll kind of walk through some sample photos that I've taken with this lens as well as we talk through it. So let's dive right into it here. Now, the first thing that I love about this lens is the reach that it provides me. At 85mm, it's a nice focal length where I don't have to be super close to my subject. I can still keep a little bit of a distance, but that 85mm focal range allows me to be able to get a good reach and be able to still get some nice, intimate, tight shots without having to be up close and personal with my subject. So the reach that it gives me is absolutely awesome, and it allows me to be able to create more of the style of images that I like personally. I like those nice, intimate shots, and this lens is a perfect range to be able to do that. Now, the other perk of having this 85mm focal length is that 85 is a nice focal length that doesn't create a lot of distortion in the faces of my subject. I know some other focal ranges, kind of like some of the wider ranges, maybe like a 35 and wider, those focal ranges will create a lot of distortion, and this one doesn't create a lot of distortion on my subject. It just creates for some nice, natural looking and very flattering looking portraits when you're doing headshots or any kind of portrait photography for your subjects. Another thing that I love about this lens is the compression that you get from this 85mm focal length. The compression allows you to be able to get much better separation between your subject and the background, and that's crucial if you want to get some really good background blur. What I'll typically do when I'm doing portraits is I'll have my subject step forward and move a little bit further away from the background, and that creates the initial kind of the first separation. And then what I'll do is I'll use this lens, and the compression from this lens will help create the additional level of separation, and that compression makes for some awesome background blur. It really just kind of makes the background almost disappear in a lot of cases, but you can get background blur with any wide aperture lens, you know, whether it's a 50 or whatever, but the compression that you get from this 85mm length really just kind of multiplies that and makes that look so much better. It looks so much more buttery, and it really allows you to be able to focus the audience on the subject of your photos. So that's what I really love about the compression of this lens. Now, when I use this lens, I use it on my Canon EOS RP using the EF mount adapter, and I haven't had any issues with speed, focusing, or any sharpness. That was actually one of my first concerns using an EF lens with the RF mount. This was my first lens that I did that with, and I was really excited to see how good the photos came out of that. No issues if you have to use the adapter, definitely no problems there if you're using an EOS R camera. I'll typically use this lens at about f2.8. 2.8 is about as wide as I'll usually use it. I've tried shooting it at 1.8 wide open, and it is a little bit hard for me to nail focus in some scenarios, and the photos still turned out good, but it wasn't as sharp or as tack sharp as I wanted them to be. So I usually use it at f2.8, and that does the trick for me. I haven't had any issues with photo quality or any focus issues using 2.8. Now, the only thing missing from this lens that I would say, if you're talking about features and things like that, would be image stabilization. But honestly, not having image stabilization is what really makes this lens as affordable as it is. Coming in at about 400 bucks, a little bit cheaper if you find it used, I'll gladly trade image stabilization to be able to get the quality images for the low price that I'm getting with this lens. So no image stabilization is not a problem. For the most part, if you're pretty good with how you're holding your camera, you should be good. You shouldn't have any shake issues. Now, video is a different story, but we're just talking about portrait photography right now. So no image stabilization, definitely not a problem with this 85mm lens. So that's it for today, guys. Just wanted to give you guys a short and quick video, just giving you my favorite portrait lens that I've used. This Canon 85mm lens is absolutely awesome. Now, I'm sure everybody has their own preferences. This is just from the lenses that I've used, has been the best budget lens that I've seen to create some really cool portraits and a really good focal range at that 85mm range. I absolutely love this lens if you can't tell yet, and it's definitely a great investment if you're looking to improve your kit and add on another portrait lens. So hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to like this video, go ahead and subscribe, and we'll see you guys next time right here on Cashed Out. Take it easy, y'all.